Hello, and welcome to Sounds Good to Me. And there's a wave from over yonder, way over yonder. Yee Ley Lao. Hello, Yee Ley. How are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you, Karen?
I'm good. I am pleasantly tired. It's been a very productive day. And it's good to be here talking with you and we're going to get to listen to the bowl sing. So, I mean, how does it get any better than that? It's like, yay.
Absolutely. Yeah, what fun can we have with the bowls today?
Yes, that's our topic is what are the singing bowls telling you? And I don't know if, well, I would imagine that if you're watching this, you have some awareness around bowls, or you've been to a singing bowl meditation, or you've been to an event where bowls were played, or maybe glasses were played. You ever see those? They have those people who bring out
Wine glasses?
the tray and they play like jingle bells, or usually around Christmas you see.
Yeah, absolutely. With the different amounts of water in to get the different pictures, yeah, or wine, or whichever your favorite tipple is.
But with wine, I would get a little worried because I'd be sipping. Oh, let me change this to a C sharp.
Yeah, C sharp. I'm B flat now.
That's funny.
From the Goonies, yeah.
That would be a good act. So you drink and play, and you drink at the same time. Play even more. So yeah, the beautiful effect of crystal. Crystal. I always think of the Memorex commercial that they had with Ella Fitzgerald all those years ago, when she resonated with the glass itself, the tone of the glass, so much that it vibrated and exploded. Is it live or is it Memorex? And so that was the commercial for all of you millennials who have no idea what I'm talking about. And it was a pretty cool commercial. It was for cassettes that showed that the quality was just as good as live, which is still debatable.
I see.
It was a long time.
That's interesting. The glass. A lot of people think that the bowls are glass, but that potency, that amplitude, that Ella Fitzgerald, and it's that matching the resonance of that wine glass in that case.
Right.
And I was told, it was the same thing with the crystal bowls when I bought them. Just like, just be aware of the amplitude that you're playing with the bowls. It could, have that similar effect. And they shared stories with me that it shattered the sound of the bowl. Smashed some wine glasses because it was a similar resonance, and it was like,
wow. So make sure you don't do this in near your good crystal, or I don't know, put a towel around it or something so tamper it down a bit, right? Wow, that's cool. I hadn't heard.
So how did you get into bowls?
I knew nothing about bowls until we went on our sound healing intensive with Jonathan Goldman almost 2 summers ago now. That was my first experience. I mean, I'd seen crystal glasses and I knew that I could play them, especially when I was enjoying a good glass of wine. But I had no idea that bowls could sing, really. And I was blown away because that experience, we had we had wonderful times in class, but then we had times on our own, and there was this little tiny chapel, the tiniest chapel you've ever seen, and we had this moment where a group of us, someone brought their bowls, so they filled the room with bowls. It was tiny. I'm talking tiny. I don't know. It was like, I don't know, 5
4, yeah,
something crazy. That would be maybe a little less than 2 meters by, 3 meters,
like
2 meters or something like that. And we were all like cramped in there, and they started playing the bowls, and then people started toning with the bowls, and then other people like yourself, I think, Yee Ley, you were doing light language, singing light language with the bowl. So it was just like this. I mean, I can't begin to tell you the vibrations that were going on from that experience and from all those different sounds and the harmonics and the overtones and the and just being in the middle of, you know, the country in Colorado in this little chapel with all this, it was magical. It really was.
Yeah, and that chapel itself was really interesting with the resonance and the way it was built, and then the sound was kind of, I guess, bouncing around in a nice way, in a real, it had kind of, I can't remember what the roof is like, but the sound really kind of resonated really well around the
right. It was like bouncing off of walls and bodies and in the bowls themselves. And they were playing several bowls. It wasn't just like one bowl at a time. It was intense. So if you've never experienced a crystal singing bowl, you've got to experience it. And there's got to be a sound bath somewhere in your city. And if you're here because you did experience it and you want to know a little bit more about it, what can we tell you? It's made of quartz crystal, and not just quartz crystal. You can see there's a bowl right behind Yee Ley. Can you talk about your bowl? What's it made of?
This one is from Crystal Tones, and they this particular company in the States, actually, I'm not sure whereabouts in the States, they infuse other crystals in there, so they kind of carry their essence, and they have so many different combinations, and they kind of really sing. When people say they really sing, it kind of resonates for ages. So I don't know if it can pick this up on the mic, but I just have to tap it lightly. Can you hear that? And it just feels like it goes on for quite a long time. And this one's infused, it's called Ocean Indian. And I haven't looked it up. So
okay,
so
there's several kinds of crystals in it, or
yeah, crystals, minerals. I've got another one. I haven't got it out here, but I've got another one is infused with aqua, the crystal gem aqua, and copper and gold.
Oh wow!
So, and it just has these different properties, and it just gives it different qualities. So not only the quality of the bowl with quartz crystal, but the way they fire, I think, the bowls up. But then they just add these things, and they just have these personalities. That's what I'm finding. And I guess even within that set, they're all different. When they come out of the kiln, I guess, whatever that's called, they all have their personalities like us. So, you know, even though we're all set to be a certain flavor, it's just like we still have these subtleties.
Right. It's like a Stradivarius violin is completely different, let's say, from a Yamaha violin. I mean, you can play them both, but each one has its own vibration, its own personality, and I guess it's also who touches it, who creates it. And I think, well, you know, if everything has its own consciousness, then when you are being creative and you create something, it literally is like giving birth to something that has its own life, because then it has that life for the rest of its existence.
Yeah, what are you aware of with that? Because I've noticed some bowls, I guess just any thing or any instrument in that case, it's a lot of people say crystals pick you, and it's like, what is that about the process of the making of that item that makes it so, and what, you know, speaks to us more than others? Like, you know, you're speaking about everything has a consciousness. Can you speak more about that? Well,
because everything is energy, and even a rock, for example, has vibration. It's just very, very, very slow. And that's what makes it solid, is that vibration being so slow. We have actually all of our organs have their own different frequencies, and that means they are vibrating a certain amount of, they have waves basically every second, right? Or is that per minute? Or I think it's just per second.
Yeah.
And so these, if that's true, then that means everything that you create, whether you are creating a table or you are creating a orgonite, like I'm creating, each piece has its own personality. I can pour out the same amount of ingredients and weigh it and measure it, and yet each piece will be different in some way. Right?
Yeah. So what's coming to mind is that, because you said something about the people involved in that process, like they're adding their, like you, when you're making your organites, there's the Karen Jones magic in there. Or you know, I guess an example everyone knows is that we're cooking. Someone can make eggs on toast, and then someone else makes eggs on toast, and it's like, wow. And it's like, what's eggs on toast? And it's just like, but there's the love. I guess some people say, oh, have they put the love into the food? And there's like those that are just like, they're pretty, you know, the eggs on toast is pretty limp or whatever, and it's just something missing.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering also, is it the same with these guys are creating the bowls? And the most common one is the hand beaten bowls. You hear people, they chant whilst they're making the bowls.
Right. And
so is that creating something else, creating more of a conscious?
I would say that there is definitely, at least from what I can perceive, when I first chose this bowl, what was it about this bowl that resonated with me? And a lot of times it's not something that you can describe as, oh, well, it's this color and that's why. No, it's not that. It's like something about this sound that when I first heard it, I was like, wow, I would love to hang out with you. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting that it can speak to you, but not someone else. And it's like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah. So I imagine that too. I mean, we do that same thing with friendships. Like there's a certain person that resonates with you and another that doesn't. So it's the same thing with bowls. Like I just got 7 bowls, and of all the bowls that I got of my crystal bowls, these are just very simple, basic frosted quartz bowls, crystal bowls. And this bowl is one of my favorites. And why is it one of my favorites? Because it sings the most to me. It feels like it has the most vibrancy and intensity. And strangely enough, this is the C. It's a do. It's a C bowl. And I sing a lot of my when I'm singing, I sing in C a lot.
So okay.
Is it that because it resonates with how I use my voice? I don't know, but I know that it also, the bowls change sounds for the people that are there. Like I'll have another bowl will be outrageously powerful for, I don't know, one group one day, and then the next week it won't be the same. It won't have the same. Like I'll hear overtones that are like, what is that? That's not usually there. And I don't know if other people do it, but
yeah, that's so interesting. I found out. I think we talked about this briefly in a previous Zoom call that I noticed certain spaces, not just the group. There's certain places that the bowl sings out more, and I guess it's similar with the tuning forks we've been playing with. It's almost like it's hitting against some energetic debris, if you like, or something that it's creating a different sound. And then some place where they're quote unquote being clear, the energy's been cleared of the room, it just rings out a lot longer.
Yes. You know, this is making me think about, you know, how we talk about the biofield or your electromagnetic field that everybody has. And as soon as you mentioned that, I had just this image of the sound penetrating into the field and bumping into something, and that bumping into it is either making it vibrate or actually exploding it even. You know, because I think it's still another way of processing and clearing energy, right? When you use sound in meditation, there's got to be some kind of something that's happening in your field. Otherwise, why would you feel so good afterwards, or why would you like not care about what you were angry about, like before you started the meditation? And it makes me think about because I've been studying a lot about electromagnetic frequencies, because we are inundated with electromagnetic frequencies, and they actually call them electromagnetic radiation. And you were talking about your bowl that they put gold and
copper.
They are using those that's in my orgonite as well, and it literally, those metals create something in our biofields. And how fascinating is that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how it it balances us. I mean, that just is really, really cool. Hey there!
Catherine, how are you doing?
Welcome. Are you there? Can you speak? Would you like to?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You're officially heard.
Hello.
So welcome.
So glad you can join us. Welcome.
Absolutely.
Sorry, late. I couldn't remember how to get in.
That happens to us all at one time or another.
Oh, yeah. Technology. Yes, yes. It's so good to see your happy faces.
It's good to see you too.
And thank you for talking about sound. Yeah.
We always discover something different. It's always good to get our energies together and just talk.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, my necklace fell apart. It's like.
Was that a crystal that you had in your hand?
Yeah, it's a piece. It was 2 pieces of selenite. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh.
And they just slid apart, so they need some love. Yeah.
Maybe the lower half wanted to get closer to your computer.
It's like, they're in there. I know they're in there. Hello, ladies.
Well, funny you should be talking about selenite, which is also another form of crystal.
We've just been talking about crystal bowls and different properties, because I know, Catherine, you have a set of crystal bowls too, and some with different other crystals, and not just the quartz as well. Do you want to share what you have in your toolkit?
Oh, man. Can you ever have enough bowls? Okay, so I have one here.
Oh, wow.
Just clear, right?
Clear.
So, I mean, just, does it matter? Honestly, does it matter? It doesn't.
Oh.
And then when we come together, if we all play our bowls at the same time, they would start talking like we talk, and then we bring them again and they talk differently. And then by the end of the night, they'd be singing differently all over again.
Right.
So I guess I love, don't get me wrong, I love the bowls that have been fused with gemstones. They're amazing, and their harmonics are sparkling and vibrant and diverse. But it's all about your heart. It's all about what you want to share. And the bowls respond, so it doesn't matter if it's a frosted white quartz bowl, or just a clear, or this ancient Tibetan bowl, or this hand beaten bowl, or this bell bowl. I mean, it's the magic of sound. Right. I wish I could say it better, you guys. I really wish I could say it better.
Beautifully. You said it beautifully. That really captures the feeling, because you really just transmitted a feeling to everybody about how dynamic sound is, and especially when the bowls are singing, and how it really doesn't matter what kind of bowl. I mean, it doesn't. It's what you're putting into it, and when you're putting your heart into it. I concur, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that before we joined, about my example was about the cook and the eggs on toast example, where there's eggs on toast and there's someone else cooking eggs on toast, and it just feels different because of that you said, the space of love, and how they are in that moment, in that process, and that communion with those elements, and it just creates a different song together.
Yeah, I know, when someone makes you eggs on toast, Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I went to, let me grab.
Eggs on toast? Oh.
I just happen to have some right here.
Green eggs and ham.
So, you know, the bowls, we can look at the creativity of the bowls. You were just talking about it. Some were made with gemstones. Some are made with, I mean, just every kind of crystal imaginable has been made. A crystal bowl has been made from it. So this is a Lemurian crystal. For those of you who are like, yeah, crystals, what are crystals? Yeah, this is what they look like when they're in a mountain or in a cave, grouped together and mined, and then they are shattered into little pieces, and they make a bowl from it. So for those of you who don't know that what a crystal looks like, because there are some people who don't actually.
Yeah, I was going to say one in contrast, because that's this is tourmaline that my partner has here.
Yes, tourmaline. It's like a black crystal. And it's supposed to, well, you know, they say that so many different crystals has this, so many different properties, that this does this, like rose quartz is from the heart, and this is from this, and this is from, does this. I would say to experiment, find out for yourself, what does it tell you? I mean, yeah, you can read about what it does and who decided that, when, and how long ago, and has it changed, or is it still that way for you? Like, because there are certain things that will resonate for you and not resonate for other people.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like us, really. It's like saying you, Karen, you're a jazz singer, and that's it. You have this property, and that's wow.
Right? How boring would that be to be just one-sided? Like, oh no.
I do other things too.
Right. I like John Denver sometimes. So corny. Yeah, I like corny. How can I say? So, I mean, yeah. So it's just to remind those of you who are interested in getting your own bowls. You don't have to be a sound healer, quote unquote, titled a sound healer to get your own bowls and play them and just enjoy them for yourself. Because they're beautiful friends and they will always sing for you.
Absolutely. I have some clients that just use them for anxiety, you know. They have a bowl, and that bowl is what soothes them, that gets them the enough courage to get out of the house in the day.
Right.
The first thing, and then they come home and it calms them down so they can enjoy their family and feel relatively whole.
Right.
Nice.
I have some clients who purchase them for their kids because their kids are so open and they come home frantic and distraught, and the bowl brings them back to their center.
Right. So it's as if the bowl is like your own private concert of mellow, calming. It just like gets into the space between your cells, you know. When the world gets crazy and it feels like everything is contracting and containing, they literally create space.
I think it's your own personal om.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Have you experienced people that I guess not everyone's a fan, a cup of tea with the bowls as well? There's people like the deeper sounding. I guess it's that, like you said before, with the resonance and the notes, at the higher notes, for example, people.
Yeah, some people get really uncomfortable with some of the higher notes.
I think the higher frequency, it's interesting. I do sell just a few bowls, and some people love the big bass. A lot of people love the big bass sounds, and I consider the lower tones kind of the safer tones. And some people love the higher frequencies, but I think that the higher frequencies can be a little grating for some people, and if there's any kind of blockage in the head, that it truly can cause some discomfort. And I'm always really cautious in the expos, especially when I always let people play with the bowls, but you know, there's no subtlety once they get excited about playing the bowls, and it is quite extreme for some people. And I guess it's interesting. We met with a woman today, a dear woman who had a brain tumor, and I was at an expo and I was doing some sound sessions and using some smaller bowls with higher frequencies. And she came back, the dear lady, and she said, you know, Kath, when you played that bowl, and she pointed to exactly which one it was, she said, and I was way across 3 rows over from you. I lost my sense of balance. I did not know how to walk. And she explained to me that she had this brain tumor. And so I think that, you know, we've got to remember that the cranium is a tight space. And if there's a blockage, there needs to be a release, and sometimes sound can get in there and jangle things up. I also believe that in sound and in blockages, things are released. But I also think that healing is not about pain. Healing is about going gently. And so I brought that up because that's something I learned firsthand from someone, and it's not something that I have actually read about, but I've heard from other sound healers. And I think it's important. You know, people need to feel comfortable and to go gently with the higher frequencies.
Right. Yeah. There are other sounds. I mean, if that sound is disturbing, just go to another sound, and that way you can come in it from a different angle. Just like with any modalities, if a certain modality if a certain way isn't working, then you come from the other side, something else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Exactly.
Sure. And I guess what you're writing is that practitioners are, I guess, the people involved awareness and what they're ready to receive to honor their healing process, and whether, you know, if they're still in resistance, then, you know, right, donging a few bowls in their face is just not gonna it's not gonna be pleasant for them, because they're gonna go, I'm not ready. But if, you know, I guess it's that our awareness to ask the questions and see where people are at, because everyone's in different. I'm realizing myself that everybody's different in what they can receive,
right,
with the frequencies.
Right. Yeah, so that is also for those of you who are like happen to go to a store and you start playing bowls and one has a sound that is disturbing for you, stop playing it.
Yes, please stop playing it. It's not about fight or flight. It's about enjoyment and ease and opening to love and
right,
and all that can bring into your life.
Right. So if you believe no pain, no gain, please let that go, because if you let that go, then maybe we could.
And you know, for goodness sakes, honor your boundaries. Stop. That hurts me. Or no, that's not for me. Thank you very much.
Right.
I love that. Give me more.
Right. Exactly.
I was just trying to find my book, because I was just read recently John, and I forgot how to pronounce his surname. John Beaulieu. That one. I found it. And it was just talking about that, like sounds, that different sound environments in there. The sound of traffic and the sound of what some people class as annoying. And he said about, and I think Jonathan mentioned this as about there's some sort of resistance or judgment on certain sounds. So we have this blockage or resistance to that sound, and so it's really irritating. So it's like, how can we use sound in a different way that's soothing and allows the person to be able to receive the humming of the traffic, and it's not going to be as annoying. I can't remember how he worded it. I'm totally rewording it, but it's really interesting about how he invites people to mimic the sound that annoys you. So if there's a high-pitched sound, to almost make that sound, so it's an allowance of that, getting your body used to that sound that you're kind of resisting in some way. I haven't read it more into it, but it was like, oh, that's interesting when you guys are talking about that. It's like, okay.
A homeopathic remedy.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like and like. It's actually when I'm teaching voice sometimes, and certain people are exploring their higher voices, I find that they have a judgment about higher voices, like the sound, especially for young girls. They're like, oh, it sounds like an old woman who's screaming at me. So they turn off their sound. And okay, you have a judgment about that. Can you let it go? Because if you could let it go, then you might be able to discover a sound that you can make that could be amazing. But because you have a judgment about it, you're never going to find it. So we move through that, and then they can honor it, because women's high-pitched voices has, there's a certain stigma in society about a woman's high-pitched voice, as opposed to the male voice, which is, because they have such round and big vocal cords, it's a different sound, and it doesn't have the same effect. Interesting point.
Yeah. So, do our bowls want to play and talk to each other?
Mine's been singing with you guys ever since I gave it a go. It's kind of whistling to your sounds. Like, oh.
So I have my favorite bowl. This is a C crystal quartz frosted bowl. It's lovely. This is a it's tuned at 432. I don't know if that matters, if any of that matters. I just really like the sound. So
mine's a 432 C, third octave as well.
No kidding.
Clear quartz.
No way. Mine's a C too. Mine's like 40 below, I think. You can hear. Wow, I can hear a beeping sound on there.
Oh, hello.
That's so cool. Hi. That is so cool.
Can you hear the bird?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the New Zealand tui bird, and it's got like a white, I think it's, I'm showing my knowledge here or not. I think it's got 2 vocal cords, which is interesting. It makes this kind of R2D2 sounds.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I wish we were closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should come over.
I'd love to.
Joseph and Jennifer are coming down next week. Remember Joseph?
Are they?
So Joseph,
Oh, please say hello. Oh.
And Jennifer's up in Auckland, so for those watching their other sound healing buddies, and I wonder what we're going to create together.
I know.
Something beautiful. Something beautiful.
Something wondrous. Something so reverent about these things.
feel it vibrate through the air and through the sea all the way to you.
Yes. Yes. Magic. So, you know, the question of the title today is, what are the bowls telling you? And that's a great question that you can ask yourself. For anyone who's listening, every time you hear a bowl, what is it telling you? Is it telling you everything's okay? Is it telling you calm down, don't worry, everything's going to work out? Is it telling you that job that you want, you're going to get it? What is it telling you? And that's the beauty of the bowls, is the sound is just it's singing to you. You allow yourself to receive it. Fabulous, fabulous. So did anyone want to add anything before we wrap up today?
No, well, I thank you. I feel pretty chilled out now, like after the bowl.
Right? Yeah, I was feeling a little tired, and I feel so much better now. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Those, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. It's so good.
Catherine, we're so glad you joined us. We join us every time. We love seeing you.
Well, yeah, now that I know how to do it, it's like, where is that link? It's here somewhere.
So yeah, I wonder what we can talk about next. That would be fun.
Yes. Let's try. I think we had a couple of more things on the list, but let's just think about it. What would be enticing and fun to talk about? I mean, just talking about sound in general is always fun, because it always takes you to so many different places. So, ladies, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your month. We'll meet again sometime next month, and you'll be in winter, or is it just late fall or the beginning of the beginning?
Late fall. I'm just wondering if we're able to get an impromptu one with
with Joseph and
Joseph.
That would be cool.
Even if it's a quick hi.
Yes, that would be great. Just let me know when you guys can do it, because this is a good time. So if you've got them at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon your time, just let me know, and we'll bring in Catherine and we'll do it.
I agree. That would be wonderful.
Yes.
Maybe we'll sing.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Wait, you can join your singing bowls. You can sing with them. I'm sure all of us sing with our bowls, and it's like this lovely duet of sounds. It's fun too, and you don't have to be a singer. Just join in. Just have fun.
Yeah.
It will lift your spirits, as they have lifted ours today. So thank you all. Blessings, and have a wonderful couple of weeks. I think I have a feeling we'll be seeing each other in a couple of weeks.
That sounds good.
Be well, be strong, and remember, everything with ease. Easy.
Ease. Yeah, absolutely.
Blessings. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.